I came home and my mom was like, "Tell me you didn't go to work like that." I was like, "No, I did this in the car on the way home." Hello, everybody. So, I've been looking for this one cologne for days now. Have not been able to find it. Literally this morning, I took an extra however many minutes looking for it up here. Couldn't find it. Haven't been able to find it. I sit down, I get home, I sit down, and I'm about to start, like, I'm moving stuff to get ready to go live. And it's sitting like literally right in front of me. And I'm like, okay. So I see what's going on. And so I went for the Fairy Oracle deck because I have this deck now. It would have been hilarious if it was Ike the Retriever. Is that the Mask of Truth? Sylvanius, the Mask of Truth, I'm pretty sure. Because it came out in a collective read that Reem did. I feel like it was Sagittarius. So I don't know if it was a Sagittarius full moon lunar eclipse or if it was a Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse. It might have been a Sagittarius new moon solar eclipse or a full moon Gemini lunar eclipse where that came out. But anyway, we're going to read today. So I'm going to use the Fairy Oracle with this Fairy Tarot deck I got from Barnes and Nobles. So the last time I did a self read, when that challenge card came out or whatever, like, accurate. But when that other card came out, that was like the challenges won't even matter, also accurate. Like, it's almost like because of what's transpiring, I do actually find myself grateful for all of the challenge that I faced in the past year, for every time I made a decision to keep going or every time I made a decision to speak up or whatever, everything that led to me being here, still here, doing everything I'm doing, way more than whatever, it all pales in comparison to just like, oh my gosh. But I've been having, like, the night before last, I had this super weird dream. And then last night I had another weird dream. And I woke up like, is this like a collective energy or something? Because this is not where I am. And then just like, I think it was the night before last, it was so weird. Like, being out and about and like seeing the state or space that other people are in. I'm just like, okay, glad to be in my bubble. Thank you. How are you doing, Sandra? And I got my little meditation earrings on. I got them at the store. I want to go back tomorrow, but I don't really need anything. Maybe I'll just go and like say hey. Look at the Prince of Winter on the bottom of the deck. Look how cute that thing is. Oh my gosh, is that Carlos? Carlos! Prince of Winter and Princess of Spring. That's fun energy. Anyway. Oh, yeah, I've only been live for a few minutes, so you'll be caught up here pretty soon. But I hope you're doing well. It's been a really interesting week. And like earlier this week, I think it was actually like last weekend, I made a choice and decision to do something that I didn't have to do at work. And I did it. And then Wednesday, we're having a conversation and they're like, oh, like this is happening, that's happening, blah, 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 whatever. And I was like, oh, well, I already went to go do the thing on Monday. So, and then they're like, oh, so like everything is, and I was like, yeah. And it's like, okay, all right. I don't know. It's just, I'm in a good space. I am doing well. With everything considered, again, when whoever is weaving whatever, they did well because I didn't see this. I mean, I literally didn't. I literally would not have even. But that's what you know. Anyway, anyway. Anyway. Hey, David, how you doing tonight? So we're gonna get a fairy just to see what like fairy is around. I'm gonna read Sylvanius, but I mean, if it comes back out, then that's what we're meant to do. I haven't used the fairy tarot too much, so the cards are a little sticky because they met. What number are you? 54? Is that 54 or 34? 34. Sylvanius, truth cutting through deception and clarity. Oh, I was gonna do pull. I was at work today, and y'all know that one time I was at work and I saw it was like a 3-leaf clover stamped into a thing, and so I went into the Lenormand, and then there was like the joke about the 4 fish, like koi fish travel in groups of 4. So I'm at work today, and I look up and I see when I was looking at it, I couldn't tell if it was like an ice cream cone or a skull. And so I was gonna, in the Stranger Things tarot, pull like before and after death, and then maybe before and after the Ace of Scoops or something like that. But I don't have that deck with me. Um, there's a whole story that I'm sure y'all hear from me if I remember at some point, but that time is not today. Anyway, there's honestly, it feels like there's so much sort of like going on and happening in so many areas and arenas and aspects, and I'm kind of sort of loving it. Anyway, it's fine. We'll get into Sylvanius. Oh, wait, why was I talking about this? I don't know. Truth cutting through deception and clarity. That makes me think of the Jester and the Archeo personal archetypes. The one who I remember like muddies the water with clarity and finds the sense in the senseless or something like that. I don't remember. So Brian called this painting the Mask of Truth. I guess this is the painting. Brian called, let's see, I'll hold it here. I can do this. Brian called this painting the Mask of Truth, true dreaming. Sylvanius, who holds the Mask of Truth, is Lord of the Woodlands, his crown of antler branches signifying his authority. He presents the mask to us, supported by the Fairy of Aspiration, as she welcomes us to our own potential. We wear the mask to look inward, seeing our true selves, not our false and fearful selves, but the beings of light that we truly are and what we have the potential to be. It becomes very difficult for us to make excuses and blame others for our failures and fears once we have seen what we could be if we were willing. What, in fact, we already are, but are not quite living up to. I thought it was very odd that there is a mask of truth. It seemed to me that we use masks to hide truth rather than to reveal it. So, starter reading. I'm gonna skip all the exposition and just go to the bottom because I don't feel like reading all of this today. Even this is long. At this time, you are discovering new truths about yourself. They are essential for you to know in order to create relationships based on mutual respect, affection, and trust. These things can only work if we see ourselves and others as we are. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as a giant mirror in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. People tend to dread this because we assume that we are worse than we think we are, but this is far from necessarily true. Now is a time for finding out the false and misleading beliefs you have accepted and discovering that you are a better person than you thought and have the potential to accomplish more than you believed you could. If someone says you are better or simply different than you think you are, don't automatically reject this. Think it over carefully. You have more to give and more to enjoy than you have been giving yourself credit for. Interesting. That's something that's definitely, it seems like, floating the collective, changing beliefs and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't know. There's Sylvanius. We're going to get into today. We'll see if Sylvanius comes back out. Then we'll dig deeper. If not, then we won't. I'm going to try to make this like fairly short-ish because I'm going to be catching up with my bestie tonight. This came out immediately. Oh, snap. Why do I hear the rare gazelle in my head? I feel like this fairy came out for her too because I can hear her say, it's the guardian at the gate. This is a fairy we get today. The guardian at the gate, number 3. The guardian. Like, I feel like I can hear Reem say like the guardian in the gate or the guardian at the gate. Or is that San? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Bottom of the deck is the Friends, number 46. Aw. Oh, we got the Friends and a collective of pixies at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Come through, friends. I'm going to pull cards first, and then we're going to read it. So, wait, are these just like the friends that are around the guardian of the gate, like in this deck? See, this deck is a little hard to shuffle right now. A little hard to get a good shuffle right now. Oof. Like, I know we in the middle of mega retrograde season, but where is Jupiter? Jupiter is in Aries. My Jupiter is in Libra. My Jupiter is retrograde in Libra, opposing my Venus in Aries. My two benefics are opposed, and one of them is retrograde. And they're both inconjuncted, so they're in houses that have no rulership. Are they in signs that have no rulership in my chart? Like, Aries doesn't rule anything in my chart, and Libra doesn't rule anything. Aries is firmly in my 12th house, and Libra is firmly in my 6th. And deep in the middle of both of those houses lies Venus in one and Jupiter in the other. But anyway, maybe it's the Jupiter opposition that's, I don't know, it feels like, or maybe it's Saturn, or it could be Pluto, it could be Uranus, it could be just time. I don't know. Because it's like, wait, wow. So we'll take you, and we'll take you, and we'll take the bottom card, obviously, and then we'll take you. That's what I was gonna do. We'll take you, and then we'll take the top card. I forgot I was gonna do that. So the Sun, number 19, plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of life. That's funny because so I was at work today, and I took my lunch, and I was like, I'm not done. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go out and like walk around the parking lot. I'll do a lap around the parking lot and then come back in. And I was like, I'm about to go like out walking on the floor. So like I was like, we'll just do it. So I go out and I'm walking and I play music on my Spotify. And then of course the first song that comes on the shuffle is like Life is a Magic Thing. And I'm like, okay, like loving this vibe as I'm walking underneath the trees. And it's like, and as we walk beneath the thousand trees, and I remember that the air we breathe is a magic thing. So then I'm going back into work, and then like the snow cone truck is there, and somebody's outside. So before I go out for that walk, right, I'm walking to the door to leave, and somebody is like, sometimes, so I'm walking up on this conversation. It's like sometimes you got to point at yourself and say, I'm awesome. And then he's like, right, Patrick? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, and then he told me, he was like, you got to point at yourself and say, I'm awesome. So I was like, I'm awesome. You're awesome. And then he was like, see, Patrick gets it. And the guy was like, yeah, I know Patrick gets it. So then I go out and I take the walk, and they're like, life is a magic thing. And the air we breathe and blah, blah, blah. It's a magic thing. Then I'm walking back in and I noticed the snow cone machine. And then the dude who was like, yeah, I know Patrick gets it. He was out there. I was like, so like, are we getting snow cones? He's like, yeah. And I was like, was this in an email or something? Because I don't remember seeing nothing about no snow cones. And he was like, yeah, it's for the employee engagement for whatever. So I got a snow cone. It was pretty good. Um, yeah, so I got a snow cone and then I went back in. And like today was a good day. Like it wasn't too much work. It was nice. And then there was ice cream and like donuts. I guess the fairies are out, so it was a lot of sugar. It was a lot of sugar and a lot of sweets in various forms that were really good. Um, so anyway, I don't know why, because the sun is here. I don't know why that came to mind in particular. Oh, gratitude for the blessings of life. Life is a magic thing. That's what took me there. This is the sun card. Oh, he's like blowing a trumpet. So it's a judgment type energy just because the horn is being blown. But I love it on the sun card because judgment can have the connotation that judgment has to it, you know what I mean? But it's a sun card, so it's like announcing the arrival of solar energies. The bottom of the deck is the Two of Summer. Falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone. Forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. It's talking about. Did Sylvanius talk about relationships? Or am I making that up? Like, did that happen or no? Oh, here's Sylvanius. Maybe not. Oh, yeah, yeah. At this time, you are discovering new truths about yourself. They are essential for you to know in order to create relationships based on mutual respect, affection, and trust. Yeah. Okay. Love that. And like the sun is here too. So apparently, we're talking about relationships. I don't know. Anyway, the guardian at the gate. I had an idea for a spread. I was going to use one of the spreads I have in the Google Drive, but I was going to read it in a different way. And I had that thought earlier today, but I already pulled these. So we're just going to tuck that one back into my brain and see if it ever comes back up ever. Because again, oh, wait, well, how do I have this on? I'm not going to be able to hear her if I have this on mute. Hello? I told her to let me know. So as soon as she says she's ready, this video is over, regardless of where we are. See? The TV agrees. They're like, this could go down at any minute. So we'll read the Guardian at the Gate first. That's number 2. Here we go. Passages to new life, openings, and gatekeeping. What did that sun card say? Oh, no. I thought it said something about new whatever. It was just that judgment energy because of the trumpet. The principal task of the guardian at the gate is to facilitate the passage from one realm to another and to block the passage of that which is not ready to pass. These realms may be earth, fairy, the cosmos of the singers, or unity. They can also be considered as levels of reality or states of consciousness. In one state of consciousness, we are in the ordinary world, in another, we are in fairy or unity. Our bodies don't move, but our minds do. The guardian at the gate of unity facilitates the passage of the song into the hearts of the singers and aids the passages of humans and fairies into unity to be filled by that song when it is their time. We cannot make the mystical experience happen to us. We can only open our hearts wider and wider until we are ready, usually only momentarily, to receive it. The guardian at the gate recognizes our readiness. Along this line, one man in the Oracle online group notes, we see the energy gathering into the starry gate or streaming out of it in the picture. But we cannot tell what is happening on the other side of the gate. This is very suggestive of how these gates and our passages through them can be. This is the primal spirit of all of the guardians that appear when we are about to step through all metaphorical and most physical gateways. From the guardians of the passages between the worlds to the guardians, doorkeepers, at your own front door, they are all manifestations of one spirit, like facets of different sizes on the surface of one diamond. Naturally, this card shows the guardian at the gateway to fairy and also to the fairy's oracle itself. Every person, every fairy, who has ever helped us through an important passage was manifesting the energy of the guardian. Now the guardian holds the gate of the other world open for us. All we need to do is to enter. So, drawing this card indicates that a passage is being made to the beginning of something new in our lives. A passage is being made to the beginning of something new in our lives. It speaks of new opportunities and new openings. Passing through this gate may lead to a physical journey, a mental or an emotional one, or a journey of the spirit. It always leads to adventure. This gateway will also lead to significant change in our lives. The passage through such a gate changes us. The gate we face may not seem like much. The decision to enter may not seem to be a matter of great moment, but the presence of the guardian at the gate tells us that something important is happening. It indicates that going forward through this gate is no small thing, but something to be approached with awareness and prayerfulness. We are embarking on a new phase of our lives, and there will be no going back once this gate has been passed. That is the kind of transition the guardian at the gate leads us to, always to irrevocable change. We may, of course, ask the guardian at the gate for guidance and protection on our journey, and we would be wise to do so. Alternatively, the presence of the guardian in a reading may indicate that the querent is being asked to help open a gate for someone else, to help provide an opportunity for them. The job of a gatekeeper or a gatekeeper's assistant is merely to open the gate, not to push people through it. That was a mouthful. So, I mean, I guess the sun is here at the top of the deck with the two of cups at the bottom. Um, so not relationship specific. It feels like there's a resonance with some like that two of cups resonance. That's what's actually creating like that rainbow bridge. I watched or rewatched Eve's live, that two of pentacles rainbow bridge that came up. 1 second, sorry. It feels like there's a Two of Cups resonance across the gate, and that's what opens the gate. Like when that connection is established, then like that's the key on both sides turning simultaneously to open the gate. With the Sun card here, it's interesting that this Sun isn't a child. Like this isn't the naked baby on a horse. So there is a certain level of maturity to this, right? Like this isn't one of those our inner child is going to do something for us types of readings. Maybe we're going to do something for our inner child by stepping through the gate. But that's what gets us to the gate. It's that Two of Cups resonance. It's something on the other side that we're ready for. This is also a unicorn that the fairy is riding. And there's a lot of red. I mean, there's only red. Like he's only wearing red, right? So that to me reads like from the root. Like that Sun energy, that Two of Cups energy resonance across the gate is from the root up, right? So it's not necessarily one of those like I'm holding it in my crown or I can see it through my third eye or whatever. Like I'm talking about it, but like it's like everything within the self is in alignment to fully pass through the gate. You know what I mean? It's not like your head goes through the gate, but then the rest of your body is like on the other side. Or at least that's how it's reading. We'll start with the bottom. The card that was at the bottom is the Nine of Spring. Protect the fruits of your labors. Prepare for possible challenges that lie ahead and environmental conservation. Are those ladybugs? Yes. I immediately go to the ladybugs. Those aren't lilies. Those are daffodils. Or at least I think this one is a daffodil. But it's giving me like lilies and ladybugs. Let's see what this book has to say. I don't think, because I have the Angel Tarot by the same author. Okay, yeah, they do. Oh, wait, spring. I just heard my brother laugh. The Nine of Spring. As your hard work pays off and you have more and more to show for your efforts, it becomes very important to look after the fruits of your labors. The energy out in the world can be intense. Every morning, as you start your day, ask God, the angels, and the fairies to protect you from negative people and energies. You're up to the task set before you. This is also a card that reflects environmentalism and those who love all the plants and animals of Mother Earth. Stand up for important causes such as protecting wildlife, the oceans, and our food sources. A beautiful fairy stands in defense of the newly bloomed daffodils in her garden. She is joined by her ladybug friends to show unity with nature in her cause. See, there's that unity from the gate, the guardian at the gate of unity. So basically, like her standing in defense at whatever, like she's giving very like the guardian. Well, the friends card is at the bottom of the deck. So she's one of the friends of the guardian. She's either a guardian or a friend of the guardian. Attending to the protection of what you've created, preparing for challenges that lie ahead, having a strong immune system, keeping your resolve are the additional meanings of this card. So with the Nine of Spring, we get the King of Spring and the Empress. I love how it mentioned the fruits of your labors and then like the Empress is here. And it's interesting that the Empress is here because of her abundance, because of the abundance associated with her, which is like the fruitfulness, but also she's like often depicted as pregnant, aka like she will go into labor. So like fruits of your labor, fruit and labor, Empress. Excuse me. Time to take action, the power of creativity, success that allows for a life of luxury. There's the Empress. The King of Spring is innovative, inspiring, wise, and theatrical. A financial windfall. Your leadership skills are needed now. An unexpected supporter of your cause. Interesting. So this is definitely carrying one of those energies of like, as you've been nine of spring, as you've been rising to challenges and working hard, and as the fruits of your labor are going to start to like, as the fruits of your labor are coming in, it's almost like there's going to be it's reading like a person because it's the King of Spring, you know what I mean? But it's like, well, the unexpected supporter. It's like it feels like there's going to be someone who you've caught the eye of, or someone who's taken notice of you, who's going to be able to help open up a new opportunity for you. The King of Spring would be a gatekeeper's assistant. And with the Empress here, it's going to be important for you to maintain everything that you have now, everything that you are now, when you like take that opportunity, when you walk through the gate, right? It's like you don't have to walk through the gate and then start back at like square one, where it's like back to not, maybe not being the most confident, not like being in your authenticity, not really having a voice or presence, not contributing. And then the King of Spring is like, where's everything that I saw, like, before you came through the gate? Like, that's what we need. That's why we brought you here. But it feels like, and again, it's said like it's who we already are. Was that the Mask of Truth? That was the Mask of Truth, Sylvanius. I had a feeling that Sylvanius ain't come out for no reason, but I just didn't feel like reading all of it because this is the night. I'll just start here. Well, things can only work if we see ourselves and others as we are. Currently, both fairy and this world are functioning as a giant mirror in which we see ourselves in many surprising ways. People tend to dread this because we assume that we are worse than we think we are, but this is far from necessarily true. Now is the time for finding out the false and misleading beliefs you have accepted and discovering that you are a better person than you thought and have the potential to accomplish more than you believed you could. But it was, where was it? I think it's right here. It becomes very difficult for us to make excuses and blame others for our failures and fears once we have seen what we could be if we were willing, what in fact we already are, but are not quite living up to. It's that what we already are, but not quite living up to part of it. Because with the Empress here, it's like we already are this Empress. Now I feel like I want to go for the Nine of Pentacles energy. I will. Why not? I mean, I got a Pentacles should be Capricorn winter, but if that's how they do it. The suit of the mind and intellect. So no, that sounds like air. Yep, the element of air. So if winter is air, then spring? No, because that was like wands. Summer. Let's try summer. The water element. Well, that's Cancer. Cancer is cardinal water. That starts summer. But winter is air. Capricorn. Hello. So it has to be autumn. Well, autumn for Earth. I get it. Is the element of Earth. Yeah. So I'm going to look before and after the nine of Earth because it's a minor Empress energy. And so, like, maybe that's like where we think we are, but actually, like, we're already the Empress. If we weren't the Empress, like, we wouldn't be permitted through the like passage through this gate, through the Empress gate. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I thought the Empress was behind me, and we let you in too. Hello. Anyway, oh, five of autumn. Okay, it would be interesting if the nine of autumn is actually on the other side. Oh, oh, I found the nine of autumn. So it's with the devil energy, but it's ego in this deck. The illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. And the mask of truth was helping us see beyond like the fear and the worry and stuff like that, right? So this is on one side. The nine of autumn is reward yourself for all your hard work, being happily and successfully self employed, and cherishing your time alone. And then on the other side is the five of summer, which is five of cups. Trust that there is a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others, focusing on that which frightens or worries you. So fear is here again. So it's in the middle of its fear. That's where the nine of autumn is. It's amidst major arcana fear and minor arcana fear. Oh, snap. Look at that. You see the mask? Look at the mask. It feels like there's a little bit of a trick in here. Like there's a low key trickster energy in here. Because in this, with the mask on, it feels like it's either spirit or a person that tricks us into doing something that we think we're not ready for. But then we do it and we find out we're capable. It's almost like when there's a person who's learning to ride a bike and there's another person that's like holding them up after you take the training wheels off or whatever, and then they're like, okay, like I'm gonna keep on holding on, so like just go for it, and then they let go, but the person who's on the bike thinks that they're there, and because they think that that person is there still there, they act, if I can speak, because they think that the person is still there, they're able to maintain their balance. There's balance right there. There's the bottom of the deck. In between that two of summer and balance is the moon. They're able to maintain their balance in the darkness because of the person that they think is still there, but they're not. And then at first they may be like, but you told me like you would keep whatever. And they're like, yeah, I did. But look, like you rode the bike, right? Doesn't this forgive me? Doesn't this forgive the fact that, like I let go when I said I wouldn't? I don't know. For some people, yes. For some people, no. Santa Claus. Some people never get over Santa or the Tooth Fairy. For some people, Santa. It's like they don't have to get over Santa. You know what I mean? But it almost feels like it's that kind of energy. Like it could be an ego trick. Um, it's almost like I mean, it's fairies here, but it's the divine spirit, fairies, whoever are gonna like try to trick the ego in order to get us to see that we already are whatever. But there's already a sense of accomplishment here because it was about like the fruits of your labors, right? So to be in the nine of spring, to get fruits, the labor has to have been done, right? Everything must have been tended to, cultivated, nurtured, and cared for to the point where they bear fruit. So I like that for this energy because it feels like, although like there's a lot of fear around here, it feels like there's a lot of support, which is really nice. So the top of the deck on the other side is release number 13. Let go of the past, an ending that makes way for new opportunities and time to move on. Time to walk through the gate. Okay. She's coming with the Queen of Winter, strong, patient, self sufficient, and funny. Let go of people or things that no longer serve you. Now is the time to focus on your career. Unmarried or divorced individuals. They look like they could be at the same tea party, right? Or she's on her way to the tea party. On the other side is the Queen of Autumn. So we got the Queen of Winter and the Queen of Autumn. So this is just like a little party. This is like a whole soiree, a little tete-a-tete, a little afternoon tea time. And then you got a whole Empress over here that's thinking she's not invited to the party because she's still Cinderella before the slipper. And these are the friends of the gatekeepers. They're like, come on, it's like pretty awesome on the other side. And like, I don't know, but I'm afraid. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being scared. There's nothing wrong with being afraid. Um, but at some point, I guess we just have to ask ourselves if holding on to that fear or if allowing that fear to dictate our choices and decisions is worth whatever's on the other side of that gate. And if the response to that is like, well, how do I know what's on the other side of the gate? Queen of Autumn is generous, stylish, gracious, and practical. Be practical with respect to how you proceed, the ability to make anything more beautiful, meeting someone who can help your dreams come true. Meeting someone who can help make your dreams come true. Another assistant of the gate. So we have the King of Spring with the Queen of Autumn and the Queen of Winter. The other person was the Empress. We don't have anybody from the Court of Summer. The only summer card we have is the Five of Summer that came out with the eagle around the Nine of Autumn. The Two of Summer is at the bottom of the deck. But summer is like, with the summer being cups or cups. Well, yeah, with the Two of Summer, that Two of Cups energy being what's connecting us to whatever's on the other side of the gate. And that connection is sort of like anchoring the passageway to like proceed beyond it. It feels like that's why there's a non like corporeal or fairy entity that's here, because the element of water is in that connection. So it's you and whatever you're connecting to. We'll read ego, even though I don't really want to. Like I should find a more interesting card to read, but it's fine. We will do it. I will do it. Change can be Nope, that is the wrong one. Well, change can be. What did this say? Change can be disconcerting. True, but it doesn't have to be something to fear. There you go. So I did it on accident, but it's a nice reminder. Change can be a lot, but we don't have to fear it. Happiness can be elusive if you're not clear on your own priorities, motivations, and behaviors. Taking time for self reflection allows you the opportunity to experience great personal epiphanies and practice self forgiveness. See the truth of who you are. Release those aspects, that truth of who you are, seeing the truth of who you are from the mask of truth again. Release those aspects that no longer serve you. Let go of guilt, fear, and blame. Have compassion for yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you for being divinely perfect in this moment. Detox from harmful foods, substances, or people. Confront your fears and release yourself from any limitations or self imposed traps. Give yourself permission to be free. Our fairy friends stand before a traditional Celtic Beltane fire, a springtime sacred ceremony to release the old, that is, guilt, fear, blame, and other products of the ego, and welcome the new. Additional meanings are determining what is the cause and what is the symptom, placing too much importance on material items, and getting caught up in fear and worry, dependency, or addiction. So that's the second time that putting too much importance on material items or getting caught up in the material is mentioned. But in the spirit of the Empress being here, it's almost like don't get caught up in the material in a way of like realize from where like that abundance flows. You know what I mean? Like the material is the manifestation of something, almost like a symptom, right? Like physical wealth or material manifestation is a symptom of something else. Not that it's bad, symptom has a negative connotation. This isn't negative, obviously. But it's almost like not sort of focusing on the right thing. And then when we're not focused on the right thing, it can be really easy for this to become all about stuff. And when things become about stuff, that's when we start to lose out on that connection. Or that's when it's easier to forget what really matters. And that's what drains the water out of that. And that's what could, like, as that water drains, it would stress and strain the path that connects us to the other side of that gateway, on the other side of the gate. It weakens the bridge, basically. So now I'm going to read the end of the Friends, and this will be this. That'll be that. So gorgeous energy coming through. It does feel like reward season is coming. A collective of pixies is duty, willingness, joyful participation, and virtue. Just throwing that out there. Because that's behind the Friends. The Friends are friendship, support, and aid. This one on top is fair enough, and I've already told you all that he wants me to say about him in the introduction to part 2. He and Laucan, his high speed friend beneath. So that's fair enough, and I guess that's Laucan. Are the best of friends and can nearly always be found together. Call upon fair enough, and you get Laucan as well. And when you need support or to better understand true friendship, do call upon them. So, friendly cooperation with others is necessary to reach mutual goals. Willingness to give and receive assistance and support is also required. Ask friends for help and suggestions. Listen with respect and accept the gifts willingly offered. Unconditional receiving is even more difficult than unconditional giving. 4 feet are more stable than two. Alternatively, fair enough and Laocoon may be saying that you will benefit at this time from offering support and aid to a friend. Look around you. Someone you love may be needing your help and be too bound up by fear or rejection or pride to ask. Volunteer your help to your friends and give unconditionally from a generous, loving heart. It will do you good, increasing your store of credit for help in time of need, and it might even help them. I feel like a lot of that, like, give from this like unconditional giving from this place in your heart and blah blah blah, like, it's pretty words, but if you ain't got it to give from, then that's all it will be. And maybe sometimes we think we're given unconditionally until something else happens, and then it's like, oh well, remember when I did this for you, or remember when I did that for you, and I gave this and I gave that. Or even if you don't say something to somebody, that's how you'll feel, and then you'll kind of start to get a little bitter and a little jaded. Like, I did this for them and I did that for them and they da 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 da. So was it unconditional, or like, were there conditions like attached? You know what I mean? And I guess I just say all of that to say that it feels like it's an energy, like the Two of Cups is here. The Mask of Truth is here. Emphasis on the truth. Like, it feels like this is one of those spaces where actions and words and everything else fall short of energy. And energy, like, it doesn't lie. You know what I mean? So, but I think that's also part of like the fruits of your labors. Because maybe life has made it difficult, or maybe life hasn't made it easy for you to be the person that you are, but you remain that person regardless, right? You're not changed or whatever. And so you'll be rewarded for that. The fruits of your labors, part of that will be like you'll find people who can reciprocate and who can like participate in that with you in that exchange. So I believe that was my cue to shut this down. I was going to get a final card, but this is the end of the reading. So I hope y'all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. And when the wheels start turning and the sun come out and the horns start blowing and the gates open up and you see that friendly face on the other side that maybe you never thought you'd see, I hope you take time to like savor and appreciate and enjoy that moment. Um, I know for me, sometimes it can be really easy to like not really sit in appreciation for everything. Or when I do, it's like, oh, like, yeah, okay, like, then like move on to the next thing. Um, but it's like really appreciate everything that you've put in and how far you've come. Um, and the cards say that not every change is meant to be, not every change needs to be feared. Some things can change for the better. And with that, thank you, Sandra. It was nice to see you, and you too, David. I hope you both and anyone else, again, hope has an amazing whatever whenever you see this. Unless you don't want to have an amazing one, then I hope you don't. Bye.